Under a minute to go. Mon with time to Davis again, and another first down up near the 47. Clock stopped momentarily with 52 seconds left.
You can see now maybe the best rhythm we've seen A&M get into after back-to-back completions.
Mon, dangerous pass that's incomplete. Greedy Williams had just as good a chance at that as Rogers did.
Only the second target to Kendrick Rogers this game. And this ball was in the air too long when you throw into Greedy Williams' side of the field. Lucky that wasn't a pick six going the other direction.
No timeouts. And almost 54 yards to go for Texas A&M, down 7. Mon, trouble with the snap, almost went down to a knee, and that ball is picked off. It's Delpit that'll put it away with his 6th interception of the season. LSU is going to 10 wins.
Just took his eyes off the snap. Eric McCoy threw a strike back there. Devin White right there to create the pressure. The entire play was off. Devin White, of course, right in Kellen Mond's face, but just took his eyes off of it. I think he saw the blitz coming. He knew Travion Williams was having to come in there for a pickup. They may be taking a look to see if Devin White, if they're going to take a look to see if there was targeting on Kellen Mond. And of course, LSU fans are going to be pretty upset if that's the case.
It stands Delpit with his
might just
6th pick
be
of the season, which would lead the SEC. But let's take a look here as White comes in after Mon struggles with this snap, and that knee almost went down. That is what they're looking at there.
Yeah. Did he possess the ball when his knee was down? Or did his knee go down before he grabbed the football?
Touching a live ball with your knee down, I mean the play is dead.
Looks like that his knee was down. And the LSU defensive coaches who were in the box right next to ours, they were out of there. They thought the game was over. They've gone right back into that box. Game clock with 29 seconds to play. And it did look like Mond's right knee was down when he went to field that snap after he muffed it.
Coach O got a Gatorade bath. As you said, the coaches upstairs left. This one might not be over just yet.
Takeaways all season for LSU. That's been the drumbeat. As you see there, is Mond's knee down. He's got his hands on the ball. He is. That looks like he's down.
And remember, you just have to touch the football in that situation. You don't have to have clear possession of it.
Right. In which case, it's Aggie football. And take an interception away from Grant Delpit. He had 5 coming into this one. And according to the notes, that would either increase him to 4th, 3rd, or 2nd. It's hard to say because they kind of contradict themselves about 4 different times. But either way, he's one heck of a safety with 5 interceptions. One of the best playmakers in any secondary in all of college football.
So it'll be a loss of 10 yards. And I believe that Matt Austin and the replay official are trying to see how much time to put back on the clock here.
After review, the quarterback's knee was down at the 39-yard line. Ball will be placed there where it will be 3rd down. Please set the game clock to 36 seconds.
That's a heck of a...
Because Texas A&M has no timeouts remaining and no way to stop the clock, the play is subject to a 10-second subtraction. Please set the game clock to 26 seconds. The clock will start on the ready for play.
That's a heck of a catch by the replay booth. And potentially an important one, obviously. what would have been a game-ending interception by Delpit. And the Aggies still with some life.
3rd and 18, clock about to start.
Here's Sternberger. He's been quiet most of this game.
And they try for him, and it's Delpit again. It puts a hand in front.
Well, they try to get it to him. Grant Delpit, great break on the ball. Had a pick before, negated, said Mon was on the ground. Therefore, the play was dead. Another pass defended by one of the best safeties you'll see.
Last chance on a 4th down for the Aggies. Mon steps up. Catch made at the 41-yard line by Davis. That's a 1st down.
They gotta hurry up, get over this football, snap and spike.
10 seconds left.
Once again, Mon stepping up in the pocket. We've seen it. Dave Aranda said this kid's got a live arm. The difficulty for this half has been connecting with his receivers. It's been too far in between these receptions. Jacob Phillips with the pressure. He's able to find Courtney Davis, who in this possession has stepped up big time at receiver.
41 yards to go for A&M in 10 seconds. Mond, catch inside the 20 by Rogers. And now A&M has a realistic shot after a 23-yard completion, but the clock will start as they move it, and do they get it off? At least initially it says all zeros. We'll see if Matt Austin changes that.
The offensive line was kind of shuffling around. They had 3 seconds to play after that catch and reception to Rogers.
It's awfully close.
That's bang, bang if there ever was one. With 3 seconds, you do have enough time to clock it.
In the same weekend 5 years ago with the kick six, of course, they put a second back on the clock for Alabama. And that led to one of the more famous plays in college football history.
1 second, hadn't gotten the snap, he's got it. The ball's down with 1 second showing. See the ball on the ground right there. Here's 1 second on the play, on the game clock.
After review, when the quarterback spiked the ball, there was 1 second on the clock. Please set the game clock to 1 second. The second down. Clock will start on the snap.
This is what got him down there. Kendrick Rogers, who's been quiet, he's been injured, had a shoulder injury, a foot injury. He's able to get behind Kerry Vincent and come up with a 1st down catch right along the boundary. The Aggies got downfield quickly and were able to get that spike to get one more play off to the end zone.
LSU calls its final timeout as Texas A&M has 19 yards to go to try to keep this game going and maybe into an extra session. Meanwhile, LSU has not allowed 30 points or more in 21 straight games. It's the second longest streak in all of college football. If they get off the field, they'll make it 22 straight.
So if you look at red zone targets coming into this game, the favorite, and this will be unsurprising, is Sternberger. We already mentioned, already has a red zone catch for a touchdown earlier in this game. He's got length at 6'4", but he has been well covered most of this game, even by linebackers at times. You can see Ed Ogeron pretty animated over there on the sideline with his defensive coordinator, Dave Aranda.
Soaking wet after taking a Gatorade bath on the play that was overturned.
Here's Sternberger that we were talking about before. 12 red zone targets coming into this game.
Game on the line. Mon, end zone. Caught! Courtney Davis!
You don't make any bigger catches than this one. The Aggies are trying to break a streak, and he's working against one of the best cover men in the country in Greedy Williams and Kellen Mond, who has struggled this entire half through a strike, and Courtney Davis made it count. 4 catches, 64 yards for Davis, and a touchdown on the final possession.
And Jimbo Fisher elects to play for more football. Seth Small. Sends us to overtime. There is a flag down. It looked like LSU might be offsides. And does that change Jimbo Fisher's mind?
You can see him on the field.
Talking to the line judge about it now.
Offside, defense, penalties decline. I think it's good. We'll go to overtime.
Pass to Courtney Davis, and here we are. And it's Justin Jefferson on an end around, and he gets near the 22-yard line.
It's that swing that had to have caught up with LSU there towards the end. You thought it was over twice. Because for a moment, when A&M went down there to spike it, it looked like there was no time on the clock. That didn't sweat on Ed Ogeron.
Remember when Guy Morris, Kentucky's coach, took a bath, and then Devery Henderson made the catch in the Bluegrass Miracle?
Guy Morris, the Kentucky head coach, LSU winning it on the last second. This time, it went the other direction to force an overtime.
Burrow deflected at the line, 3rd down. That was Kiki.
Kingsley Kiki does a great job. He gets his hands up. He's not going to get to the passer. They were trying to get it to Morrow again. He's had a couple of big catches in this game, one for a touchdown. Kiki that time able to get his hands up and get the deflection. Largely a quiet night for one of the better performers of the Aggie defensive front, and another 3rd down. The Aggies have not been good on 3rd down here tonight, and largely because of Joe Burrow and his scramble.
And there's movement on the line as there was confusion with Burrow and Brosette there near the end of the play clock.
12th man.
The snap, false start, offense 76, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
That's the 12th man. And it was like, I don't know if it was near a full throat, because there's a lot of folks that left this stadium and came back in. As you see, Austin Deculus, 2nd time he's been flagged this game for a false start, and it's owing to the crowd noise here at Kyle Field.
Listen to the 12th man here on the 3rd and 12. Burrow under pressure, sacked at the 32. Alaka got him.
He's got to get rid of this football, if for nothing else to try to preserve field position for a field goal attempt. Alaka able to get there, beating the block of Nick Brissett. It cost LSU another 4 or 5 yards.
Tracy's 21 of 23 inside 50 yards, but missed one tonight. This from exactly 50 to give LSU the lead. Line drive right through. Boy, how big has Tracy been this season?
Boy, he sculled this one, because that ball was low from the get-go. I was a little surprised it even cleared the line, but as you mentioned, already missed one earlier in this game, bounced off the crossbar.
Thin to win, as they say,
caught that
for
one
the
thin.
transfer from Assumption College. As the LSU defense walks back onto the field, Chris.
And they're going to have to get their emotions in check, and quickly. Jacob Phillips and Kerry Vincent Jr. had to be separated. They were in each other's faces, screaming at each other before coming out.
The Aggies can win it with a touchdown here. If they don't score, LSU will claim victory. Come on. To Sternberger inside the 5, but he fumbled. He fumbled the football. Now they call it incomplete. Greedy Williams had it and could end the game, but a late signal is an incompletion here.
I don't know. It looked to me like he possessed that football before it came out. That looks like a catch and a fumble. You see A&M, they're wanting to snap this football quickly. They got exactly what they wanted. And Sternberger, who was lined up to the right of the formation. And it looked to me as if he possessed this football and it came out.
And Austin talking to the crew upstairs and to Coach O. And Sternberger was bringing that football down. Was it moving as Delpit makes the hit?
That'll be the question. Did he have firm control and turn to make a football move? See him here with Delpit coming in. Separate Sternberger from the football. If this proves to be a fumble, that would be the second potential game-ending play, and they're saying no, incomplete pass. Matt Austin went over there and consulted with Ed O.
No announcement made, and we play on, and Travion Williams inside the 15-yard line. 12 more, and another Aggie first down.
Outside run all the way. Great job that time by Carson Green at right tackle. Able to get Travion Williams clean and downhill to the perimeter, and first down yardage, a fresh set of downs inside the 14-yard line.
Fourth straight game going over 100 for Williams. And it's Mon this time, keeping inside the 10, inside the 5, and marked down at the 4.
Well, that time a nice block by Sternberger on the edge versus Jacoby Stevens. It allowed Mon to pick up about another 4 or 5 yards. Great ball fake in the backfield as well by Mon and Travion Williams.
Measuring here to see if that was a first down, and will set up a 1st and goal for Texas A&M.
Talk about a clutch field goal earlier for LSU. So you take a sack, you're able to get it in the end zone, and we have seen LSU turn A&M away once they're inside the 20, forcing field goals. We've already documented this is effectively a red zone possession. The red zone woes. A touchdown wins it, of course. The field goal only ties it and sends you to another stanza here in the overtime period.
Aggies at the doorstep trying to end LSU's winning streak. Williams, first and goal run inside the 2.
Try to hammer it home. We've seen Williams with 2 now. He's been able to get in there, get in the red zone. You think of the opening possession, they ran it right in, and now you've got 4 cracks at the end zone from the 1-yard line.
A&M has won 6 consecutive overtime games. And they won't get in here as it's a tackle for loss and a loss of maybe 2. Divinity and company were in there.
Well, this is a heck of a play by Rashard Lawrence from the backside. He makes this play, number 90. That time working against left tackle Dan Moore. He got underneath that block right now. We've seen him do it twice in this game. He ended up losing 2 yards. A great play by number 90 to push the Aggie offense back.
Second and goal from the 3.
The Aggies have run it every single time out of this formation.
Mon keeps it, and he'll lose yardage. Jacoby Stevens at the 6.
Jacoby Stevens is on the edge right here. We'll watch him close and then float right back out. He did not sink inside on the fake handoff. Mon pulls it, and there were LSU defenders waiting on him. Think about Rashard Lawrence. Get that negative yardage play. Set up the second down. Another negative yardage play. Started out at first and goal from the 1.
Mon, nobody home.
He's throwing it towards Courtney Davis and Kendrick Rogers' side. And clear miscommunication. You can see Jimbo Cook. You see Fisher coming out on the field. Kellen Mond likes immediate feedback. He got it on that one. Coach Fisher is saying, look, man, we can't have you going to the left side of that formation. Both receivers not within 5 yards of that throw.
Seth Small from 24 yards. How about that LSU goal line stand? And we play on to a second overtime in College Station.
Now they take the field again in overtime in back-to-back possessions for the Aggie offense.
You alternated between each overtime. So Mon on a 1st and 10. Upstairs it goes. Davis already has one amazing catch to extend the game in regulation. Can't do it this time as Terrence Alexander's there.
The ball sails on Mon this time. Working against Alexander and had it coming out of the break. Just a bad ball. You know, the receivers here in the second half haven't done Mon a ton of favors. That time Mon had time to throw on 1st down. And the ball sailed on Courtney Davis, who was the hero on the game-tying drive, including the tying touchdown.
Williams finds hole inside the 15, inside the 10, 1st and goal.
This is zone to the left. That time A&M does a great job up front covering up the LSU jerseys. Travion Williams gets outside, tries to cut back. Ends up being met by Delpit and Todd Harris, but not before he picked up a 1st down inside the 10. And as we just mentioned, the LSU defense was able to bow its neck with even less field to defend.
Williams inside the 4. Kobe Stevens making that tackle.
Again, we talked about Williams and his cutback ability. What I like so much about him, he doesn't try to do too much with the cutback. If he sees something open up backside, he sticks it downhill, especially when you're playing with a short field. Don't get too cute. Don't go lateral. Get downhill as quickly as possible.
This is his 30th rush of the game. Now it's Mon with Williams blocking in front. Touchdown.
The QB stretch play, except you end up getting angles right at the point of attack. You see Ryan McCollum, number 77, able to pull outside and escort Mond into the end zone. Williams, the lead blocker. And this time the Aggies able to capitalize on a first down and goal to go.
Small's extra point is good. LSU went from celebrating a victory which was overturned to having to score a touchdown in the second overtime to keep the game going.
The defense stepped up in the overtime only after having hemorrhaged in the 2-minute drill the game-tying drive and score. You saw Ed O just a second ago, soaked by the Gatorade. Kellen Mond, who had to come alive in that 2-minute drive, and then able to finally capitalize, taking it in himself. The QB run game this entire game has proven big, more so for LSU in regulation. Proved to be huge for the Aggies on that overtime possession.
Joe Burrow, 2 touchdowns passing, 1 rushing tonight. And like Mon, takes off with a tailback blocking in front for 6.
Effectively the same play, as you mentioned. You're just going to run a stretch play into the boundary with your quarterback and a lead blocker out in front. And once again, first down efficiency for LSU showing up again. That was Joe Burrow's 20th carry. That was a design carry on that run.
And it's 21 carries, and it's a first down to the 11.
That time Joe Burrow pulling a Travion Williams. Quarterback counter, and he sticks it right up in the middle. Kingsley Keke had a chance to make the tackle. Burrow runs right through it. Able to pick up a first down. And just outside the 10-yard line, LSU can still convert.
Burrow, end zone chase, incomplete. Could not bring it down to the ground as that ball was resting next to him.
Working against Miles Jones, and it looks like a catch to me. Does he bounce it out? Does he lose possession? And Miles Jones punches it out right as Chase is going to the ground, and he has to survive the ground. That ball was coming out. You see Jones splitting the hands of the receiver, and he knocks it out before Chase goes to the ground. That's twice Miles Jones, in effectively the same scenario, has been able to rally and use that 6'4" frame of his to deny a would-be touchdown catch.
Leon Renfro was ejected for targeting in the South Carolina game, which pressed Jones into action, and he has been one of the starters since. He prevents Chase from scoring that touchdown there.
That was textbook. When you talk to these defensive coaches, defensive back coaches, you split the hands of the receiver, especially when they're trying to high point that ball. Jones able to knock it loose before what would have been a touchdown. Right now you look at it, 2nd 10 on the 11-yard line. LSU can get a fresh set of downs. A&M was able to get it down there and was denied the end zone by the LSU defense on a 2nd and 10. Can the Aggies bow their necks and keep the Tigers out of the end zone here in overtime?
Burrow with Brosette blocking in front, and he's out near the 5. And to further the point about these attempts, his career high before this game in rushing attempts was 13, 9 more than that tonight.
Now, he's been the difference maker all night long, and it's been largely as a runner. It's been the Joe Burrow show. We talked about it. Coming into this game, A&M, they only give up 80 yards rushing. Not tonight. It's been more than double that, 185 rushing yards for LSU.
3rd and 4. Same play. 4th down at the 3. Landis Durham on the tackle.
That time a good job by Donovan Wilson of setting the edge. He came up quickly on Nick Brissett. You see LSU, they want to run this play quickly.
Brissett stretches to the goal line. Touchdown.
A&M was running around to get set still. Donovan Wilson able to slip out. And is Brissett's elbow. I wonder if they're going to take another look at this. Is it down? You see the ball right here. Here's his elbow. I wonder if they're going to take another look at this.
They are, in fact, doing that. And evidently,
they're saying a touchdown.
Are satisfied with what they've seen. Cole Tracy to send it to triple overtime. And we play on in College Station. The last game of the SEC regular season is quite possibly its best.
Fresh leg. The guy hadn't had to do much all night long.
Burrow, end zone, caught! D. Anderson.
A&M brought corner pressure from the opposite side, the left side of the formation. You see Renfro doesn't get home. Miles Jones, who was able to break up a would-be touchdown catch earlier, had a chance that time. D. Anderson just kind of casually reached over the left side of his hip, came up with a catch.
Burrow with the home run ball after running it down A&M's throat in the second overtime. And now must go for 2.
He wasted no time getting in that time. At the top of your screen, this is Justin Jefferson.
Burrow rolls out, got it. Jefferson.
They started with Jefferson out wide, and they move him in motion all the way across the formation. And he's able to outflank Deshaun Capers-Smith for an easy 2-point conversion.
And that's the first 2-point conversion that LSU has executed this season.
Couldn't come at a more important time. Here is the goal line stand. It started with Rashard Lawrence, then Kellen Mond with a muddy read. He pulls it, and LSU stayed at home, and then nobody home on the 3rd down pass attempt. Trying to throw to Courtney Davis and Kendrick Rogers' side of the formation. And LSU with a 1-play strike in the 3rd overtime. They were able to get the 2-point conversion, as you mentioned, Taylor, and all the pressure now on Texas A&M having to score not only a touchdown, but convert a 2-point conversion.
Will throw on 1st down. End zone incomplete. Just over the hand of Jamon Osmond.
So both offenses here in the 3rd overtime going for home run balls. And that time too high. Greedy Williams underneath it. Grant Delpit over top. And Osmond in the middle. You talk about a difficult proposition. You're talking about 2 of the best defensive backs in the country that can play the ball in the air, and unsurprisingly, an incomplete pass for the Aggie offense.
Davion Williams with 173 rushing yards. As Gillespie will stand in front of Williams here. And a whistle and a flag.
I wonder, like Gillespie might have been a little bit early. He's going to say he was going in motion. It was right at the snap. That's what he's arguing, at least. It did look like he was moving laterally from his fullback position.
There's no foul for false start. The player went in motion legally. Replay that out.
So here's the 12th man, Gillespie. Now watch him. He's going to move laterally right before the snap. Watch him move this way. The flag came out. Matt Austin, as he explained, the false start. He was motioning laterally before the snap.
Well, they won't run that play as Gillespie comes to the bench and Mond's back in shotgun with Williams to his left. All kinds of time, but nothing to find. Jump ball to the end zone. Rodgers, I think, made that catch, and there's a flag. Wow!
With PI all over. How does he make this catch? But does. I don't think that ball ever made contact with the ground. Watch Terrence Alexander pull his left hand down, and Rodgers stays with this football. It almost bounced off his chest and his shoulder pads and enabled him to make the catch.
Well, of course, he had an incredible game against Clemson and made a big touchdown catch, but they were not able to get the two-point conversion. They'll have to do that here to keep this game alive.
That is a huge target. You look at Kendrick Rodgers on the hoof.
Pass interference, number 11 defense. Penalties decline, touchdown.
So here comes your two-point conversion play.
LSU converted their first of the season. The Aggies haven't converted one this year either.
And what they saw, they ended up taking Jefferson all the way across the formation. Jefferson started out up here. Here's Jamon Osborne. Probably their most reliable receiver prior to his injury.
To extend the game. Mon. Got it! It's Rodgers again!
Why not stay with a hot hand? Kendrick Rodgers with the touchdown catch and the two-point conversion. And we remain tied after 3 overtimes.
Until the third overtime, and he gets the two-pointer as well. Aggies stay on the field, and it's Williams on the ground and near another first down at the 15.
And they missed a false start on Travion Williams on that carry. Travion Williams was early. You could see the LSU defenders after that snap. They couldn't believe it. There's an LSU defender on the ground now being attended to. It looks like Glenn Logan was able to get a key pressure early on during regulation. That seems like 2 days ago.
Might as well was. Braden Fehoko, of course, was the starter at his position for most of the season before a torn biceps against Georgia ended his year.
Heck of a strong finish to the end of that run by Travion Williams, but he was early before that snap. We already had Gillespie earlier at fullback motioning laterally, but Travion Williams, he flinched right before the handoff. There was no flag. You can imagine 5 yards is kind of a big deal. Start looking at field goals. As you see Williams, he kind of tilted with his left shoulder and arm. You can see the LSU defenders pointing, saying, hey, that's a false start. No flag. It ended up being a first down run for the Aggies.
Good to see Logan walk off the field. Are you having any fun here tonight, Matt?
I mean, I'm trying to push through. 49 points, you kidding me? There's a streak on the line. This is for the second place in the SEC West. Serious bowl implications. You got a first-year coach in Jimbo Fisher trying to get a signature victory. It doesn't get much better.
Williams, no place to go, and he is swallowed up by Neil Farrell.
Indecisive on this run. It's getting strung out, just get out there. That time kind of floated a little bit behind the line of scrimmage. Farrell did a good job of stringing that play out. Of course, another fine product out of Mobile, Alabama. A big negative yardage play for the LSU defense.
Mon rifles another one, and Osborne can't make the catch, but here comes the flag as Jacob Phillips levels Osborne at the end of the play.
Yeah, they're gonna.
Personal foul, targeting with the crown of the helmet, number 6 of the defense. Half the distance to the goal, automatic first down. Play is under further review.
6'4", 230-pound linebacker Jacob Phillips dropping back. He's just trying to separate the receiver from the ball, and you can see they won't allow you to strike a player anywhere with the crown of the helmet. You can see Phillips lowering his head also to the head and neck area of Osborne. But the crown of the helmet also would be operative here on that targeting penalty on the field.
Phillips has played a whale of a game, 11 tackles tonight.
He has. He's shown up in coverage as well a time or two versus Sternberger, the tight end for A&M. And he has been very active. Got a couple of pressures early on in the first half. But I'll be surprised if he's able to continue in this game. Coach Ogeron saying, look, the receiver's trying to make a play on the ball. My defender, and I get the point that's being made. Because Osborne's trying to catch the ball. He lowers himself at the last second.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. Number 6 is disqualified.
Meaning that Phillips will have to miss the first half of the bowl game, whether that's in the New Year's Six or someplace else.
Well, and he'll also miss the rest of this overtime period, and a first down again on the 8-yard line for the Aggie offense. And LSU down a linebacker. And it's not the first time they've had to deal with this.
And part of the rule that I don't like here is him having to go to the locker room. At least let him stay on the sidelines. Gillespie back in front of Williams. And Williams follows his big fullback inside the 5, down to the 4. 2nd and goal.
A new wrinkle we haven't seen all game as you see Phillips exiting Kyle Field. That time A&M brought orbit motion. That means the motion man goes behind the quarterback and the running back, the entire formation, trying to pull the LSU defenders' eyes wide and away from the play. We've seen this play many times this game, downhill out of the pistol. That time with the lead blocker in Gillespie.
Mon scored on this play 2 overtimes ago. He gets nothing this time. 3rd down.
Well defended by Patrick Queen. Sets the edge, gets out wide. Jacoby Stevens as well coming up and getting upfield on Kellen Mond. That play was pretty much dead from the get-go. LSU had it flanked, did a great job of running to the perimeter to deny Kellen Mond. As you mentioned, that was the play they effectively had the same success. Were able to get into the end zone. That time Mond denied setting up this third down.
Could not punch it in the first frame when the Aggies could have won the game on a 3rd and goal. This time Mond extending the play over the head of Sternberger, covered up by Delpit. 4th down.
Well covered in the end zone. That's been the story mostly of the second half, where Kellen Mond hasn't felt like he had anywhere to go initially with the football. That time he threw all the way back towards the middle of the field. Delpit in coverage. And A&M, with this secondary, lucky to have a possession to even kick a field goal here.
So Seth Small with another chip shot. And the 21-yarder is straight through. So LSU can now win it with a touchdown in the 4th overtime and qualify for the New Year's Six. You saw Coach O, if you're just joining us, you watched Notre Dame beat USC. He took a Gatorade bath near the end of regulation as Grant Delpit had his 6th interception of the season, but Kellen Mond's knee was down before he threw that interception, and the play was overturned upstairs. The Aggies would go on to score a touchdown on the final play and an incredible catch by Courtney Davis. And we have played into the middle of the Texas night.
Now A&M only with the 3-point lead. And of course, a touchdown here puts it away for the Tigers.
Fake to Fournette. Burrow to Moreau inside the 10, and he holds onto the ball as Pryor tries to pry it loose. 1st and goal.
Donovan Wilson had a nice break on this ball. You can see Burrow with the ball fake to the right. And Donovan Wilson was just a hair late. And Morrow, who has come up big in this game, back-to-back games after a career high last week versus Rice. And Jimbo Fisher desperately trying to get a timeout and does.
So a timeout at Texas A&M in what is LSU's first ever 4-overtime game. We remember the thriller they played against Arkansas, which they lost in 2007, which was 3 overtimes before they ended up winning the national championship later that season. Last time Texas A&M went this far in a game was 2011.
I think LSU had another overtime game that 07 season versus Kentucky. Also ended up losing that one before they went on to become national champions.
Also in triple overtime.
How about them apples? Now, as you see it here, the 1st down snap, Jimbo Fisher ran out, wanted to get a timeout. He was talking with Buddy Johnson, the linebacker for A&M, who split out now over Jefferson.
Leonard Fournette down to the 6. Fournette has gone from being buried on the depth chart to scoring his first career touchdown last week and playing a huge role tonight.
Opened up the entire game. First play of the game, a pass to Leonard Fournette. Ended up talking with Kevin Falk, one of the best running backs in SEC history, certainly in LSU history. Can't learn from anybody better than that.
Brissett back in. Burrow follows him, changes direction, wrapped up. Tyrell Dodson the first to him, 3rd down.
Well, both offenses trying the right side of their offensive line. Both defenses doing a great job of avoiding being flanked. That time turned Burrow back inside As you see A&M substituting in a couple of DBs. Now their pass rush look. Tyree Johnson coming into the game as well.
Can I confirm that Dari, Doring, Chiz still do a show SEC Now after this is over?
Oh, they're eating this up, buddy. This is the last regular season game, man. It's probably I think this is their last SEC Now of the season, and they want to get the most of it. They can thank us later.
Staying until the wee hours of the night as they are coming up after this is over with.
You can bet that both of these sidelines, boy, there's a lot of overlap between these two programs. When you start taking a look at the head coaches, what all's involved, what all went into Jimbo Fisher taking the head coaching job at A&M, and Ed Orgeron being named the head coach at LSU. For both of these programs to be hinging on these overtime periods to determine who's the second best team in this division behind Alabama, and perhaps even a Sugar Bowl Peach Fiesta for LSU, a lot on the line, and a streak to be broken perhaps for A&M.
Burrow takes off, down at the 3. Landis Durham on the tackle, and Coach O says kick it.
You want to take a look at it though, didn't he? He leaned in there for a second. And Coach O, and you see Burrow, boy, he is battle weary. Number 9 for LSU has seen a ton of work, and it hasn't all been designed, but he has battled. You could see why the LSU coaching staff was so taken with Joe Burrow, and he has earned his stripes tonight.
Cole Tracy, one of the best in the country, from 21 yards to send it to a 5th overtime.
Play of game, offense. 5-yard penalty.
Wow.
Remains 4th down.
Now, you could argue that the angle is improved.
He has to hit less of a draw now than he would from 21 yards.
But this was clearly not designed, as you see the consternation on Coach Orgeron's face. Certainly not pleased after Tracy split the uprights.
Transfer from Assumption College, has made 92 field goals in his career. Now from 26. (52-52), and we're headed to a 5th overtime. Watch this play here as we get ready for the 5th overtime. And Burrow finds Torrey Carter for his first catch of the game in the 5th overtime.
I think that's the 11th different receiver for Joe Burrow. So he's spreading it around, and he's certainly been given plenty of time to do so.
Only his 3rd catch of the season for the sophomore from Leesburg, Georgia. Throw set on the toss to the 11.
Well, here's the thing, and we touched on it earlier. It's been Joe Burrow left, Joe Burrow right, Joe Burrow scrambling, maybe a couple of throws sprinkled in. Nick Brissett, he's had a pretty quiet night. I mean, we're talking 14 rushes now. We're in the 5th overtime. So if anything, you got fresh legs, and of course he's back over on the sideline. The number 1 running back for LSU tonight has been its quarterback, number 9, who's under center now.
It's been a while since Edwards-Helaire has been in the game. Here he is. Looks like he's going to throw. Carter, touchdown. Why not?
Well, if Burrow's going to be your runner, then Edwards-Helaire naturally should be your passer. And Torrey Carter should be the receiver, who we just mentioned gets almost no targets and now makes 2 catches in the 5th overtime.
Now, how does that conversation start? Is Torrey still here?
That's right. Get him in the game. You see number 44 coming up with a huge catch. here in overtime number 5.
Injured Aggie. Miles Jones played another outstanding game tonight. Sophomore from Magnolia, Texas.
We've mentioned Jones a couple of times tonight, and he has come up big. Gave up a touchdown in one of the overtimes. They're running together at this point, but he has also denied 2 touchdown throws in the end zone. Very well defended. He's putting no weight on his leg on the way off the field.
LSU converted a 2-pointer for the first time all season in the 3rd overtime.
He's got Foster Morrow all the way to the bottom of the screen.
And a miscommunication with Jefferson. So the lead is 6.
You see Jefferson a little bit frustrated at the end of that play. But as it is, a 6-point lead for the LSU offense. Talk about time of possession, about first downs that pile up for both of these offenses, and that's been their story. The A&M defense and the LSU defense, they've seen some snaps. LSU's run 85 offensive plays. A&M has run 97.
Must score a touchdown to keep the game going, and then can win it if they get the 2-point conversion. Facing the rush, steps up and takes off. Inside the 5 to the 4.
Mon sees the rush lane. This is a pass all the way, but he ends up scrambling. You see the umpire, maybe with the key block that time, was just enough to slow down Micah Baskerville and allow Mon to pick up another 8 yards. You see Rashard Lawrence.
2 LSU Tigers
and
down.
Michael Divinity. Yep. Keep in mind they are without Jacob Phillips, who has been ejected for targeting in overtime. This would be when Divinity, yet another linebacker, he'll obviously have to leave the game for at least one play. If he is in fact okay and can return later, he'll have to leave for 1 snap, as will Rashard Lawrence.
Divinity had the 58-yard fumble recovery for a touchdown that Devin White caused in regulation.
They run around the quarterback and just collide into one another. You see it right here. It's friendly fire. And they're just rushing the passer as best they can.
Well, it's a 1st and goal for Texas A&M from the LSU 4-yard line. And Gillespie, the fullback, back in there in front of Williams. Travion with 33 carries tonight and 186 rushing yards.
LSU without their two of their starting linebackers and a starting defensive end.
And here he is following Gillespie, but cannot get the edge as that speed from Stevens shows up again.
I mentioned Jacoby Stevens earlier. This is a heck of a play by number 3. He has been in coverage a lot tonight with Jay Sternberger, and this time sliding off the blocks, gets upfield, forces a negative yardage play. A&M, they get 1st and goal, and they start going backwards. This will be their 100th offensive snap.
From the 5 on a 2nd down. Empty backfield. Mon loses more yardage. Patrick Queen, who almost had an interception some 3 or 4 hours ago with the tackle for loss.
That was really poorly blocked that time by A&M. QB draw all the way. Thought they were going to catch LSU dropping. Patrick Queen did a great job getting upfield again. Back-to-back plays. Great job by the LSU defense. That's their 12th tackle for loss tonight.
A&M with as many as 2 plays to go 6 yards and tie it. Mon into traffic, incomplete. 6 players down there, 2 for the Aggies. It hit Kendrick Rogers, 4th down.
He had Jay Sternberger and came off of it. See him came off it pretty quickly. Had plenty of time this time. Only 3 rushers. Again, Devin White right there. And as you mentioned, got 2 receivers right on top of each other. Kendrick Rogers with the circus catch earlier that time. He and Jamon Osmond right on top of one another in the end zone in an incomplete pass.
Jimbo Fisher calls timeout on a 4th and goal. His team has been at the brink numerous times tonight. Converted a 19-yard touchdown to send the game to overtime, and already converted a 4th down and a 2-point conversion to keep the game going. They'll have to do it again here.
Well, Dave Aranda said earlier, as you can hear the officials, they're trying to get the Aggies out of their huddle. They want both the teams out there and playing. But he didn't want Jimbo Fisher to beat him. He wanted to come down to Kellen Mond. You've got a 4th down play, and your opponent has to score a touchdown to tie it up. LSU had a chance to put it away. It's in the 5th overtime now, and it comes down to this.
And now the Tigers call timeout as Coach O runs all the way to the end zone.
Coach O looked like he was about to take out the line judge.
Ed Ogeron, 57 years old, showing off the speed.
Look at this. I thought he was going to take him out right there. Form tackle.
Guys, credit to both of these teams on both sides of the ball. On field level, these guys are absolutely exhausted. A couple bending over, having trouble breathing. Even Joe Burrow having trouble putting weight on his right leg. Both of these teams thriving on some adrenaline at this point.
As you can imagine, more than 4.5 hours in, and it might end on this play if LSU can stop the Aggies.
Well, it's hard to think, where do you go with this football? Because they've had different guys step up. Has it been Rogers, Davis, both with big catches at the end of this game and in overtime?
Mond, end zone, touchdown! Rogers again!
Mond stepping up in the pocket. Didn't flush out. Kept his eyes downfield, and he's able to hit Kendrick Rogers, who they have listed at 6'4". This guy is 6'6" if he's an inch. And he has come up huge. You mentioned the big game he had versus Clemson. Kellen Mond had a career day that day. This is an even bigger performance.
Now for the win. If A&M gets it, it's over. If LSU stops them, we go to a 6th overtime. Mond with all kinds of time, and it's incomplete. He wanted Jamon Osmond, but Greedy Williams was all over him, and we go to a 6th overtime at Kyle Field in College Station. Coach O takes the bath, but a little too soon. And this has turned into the game of the week on rivalry weekend, and Mond has Sternberger! Touchdown!
He was lined up at wing. It's a formation we've seen a lot this game. We haven't seen them throw it this game. And Sternberger's lined up at wingback, just off the hip of the tight end. He usually likes to be in a three-point stance and attached at the end of the line, and A&M going to take a timeout to talk about this next step. It was just a matter of time before 81 showed up in this overtime period. And keep in mind, he caught a pass earlier, and it looked like it was a completion. Delpit seemingly caused the fumble, and that's what led to this.
Remember the Matt Jones marathon games? Arkansas beating the Rebels and then beating Kentucky a couple of years later. Well, we're at 6 overtimes as the Aggies have to go for 2. And I noticed on that touchdown that the home of the 12th man, known for their yelling and staying in place at halftime and cheering, were a little tempered with their enthusiasm, probably because they're out of voice.
Yeah, they had to have blown it out by now, right? Because you practiced last night, and you can't go half-cocked in yell practice. You got to really cut loose. But you're only counting on 4 quarters, maybe a couple overtimes. Nobody preps for a 6th overtime yell. and as many traditions as A&M has, they're fresh out of traditions, man. They've used them all up. They're going to have to cook up some more to spill over into overtime.
What a game.
The Wiltshire Oyster, from a receiving standpoint, they've all contributed now here in the overtimes.
Mon. Rogers again. Why not?
I mentioned Kendrick Rogers is a big dude working against Kerry Vincent. I mean, what are you going to do? That's a jump ball versus a 6'5", 6'6" receiver. Kerry Vincent goes about 5'10". He's given up half a foot, and that's before Kendrick Rogers jumps. And this kid has come alive here in overtime, and keep in mind, made the big catch to set up in the 2-minute drive before A&M clocked it. It was Rogers with the big catch along the boundary.
Scratch what I said about the voices. The 12th man is back.
Yeah, they're pushing through, man. They went and got some Ricola breath mints or something.
Burrow, with his best performance as an LSU Tiger, down to the 17.
It takes a shot. The third big shot. He's taking a lot of shots in this game. A third big shot. He was limping around earlier, but he bounced right up after that run.
LSU must score a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. Brosette wrapped up. Big loss. Alaka, the first one to him.
Alaka knifes upfield right now. Watch him undercut the block. And Brosette, who's trying to string it out and floating. Dalen Mack is there to finish it up, as is the balance of the Aggie defensive front. And Alaka, the leading tackler for A&M, comes up with a big negative yardage tackle. Missed a couple of practices due to the concussion protocol. Showing up big on that overtime snap.
Burrow. Jefferson makes the grab inside the 5, 1st and goal.
This ball hung in the air almost as long as this game has gone on. It just kind of floats. It looks like it might have gotten picked by Alaka as LSU's over the football quickly.
And Burrow keeps it himself. Touchdown to LSU. Now it's the 2-point conversion to try to keep the game going.
Great read right here by Burrow. As you see A&M crashing down, Tyrell Dodson too far upfield, and Burrow able to get underneath the edge defender for the Aggies and into the end zone. The 28th carry for Joe Burrow in this game.
LSU does have a timeout, and Coach Orgeron will call it.
Now coming into this game, LSU in the red zone had completed 9 passes. They are about as one-dimensional an offense in this part of the field as you'll find.
It was 31-24 LSU with 1 second to go in regulation. Now we have a combined 130 points. LSU needs 2 more to send it to a 7th overtime. And their 7-game winning streak against Texas A&M is on the line.
Now earlier on the 2-point play that they converted to Jefferson, they sent in motion. It was just like a sprint out. They ended up having a flood concept. Multiple receivers to one side of the field. Joe Burrow just hit Jefferson on the run. This time a different formation.
Burrow got it. D. Anderson says he's not ready to go home. Dick Vitale in Cameron Indoor Stadium once said, "I want to stay here all night." That's what we're doing in College Station today. Is it Sunday yet? We play on.
I think this game started shortly after that.
Burrow, home run ball. Tangled up in the end zone, and the flag comes in as D. Anderson with a one-on-one battle with Larry Pryor.
It was Charles Oliver, I think, in there for the injured Miles Jones. Miles Jones ended up.
Pass interference, defense number 21. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Well, you're right, Oliver came in there after Jones got banged up. Oliver a starter most of the season.
You can see he just panics right here. Hadn't seen a lot of snaps. You're in overtime. D. Anderson, who calmly made a touchdown catch earlier, working against Miles Jones, the cornerback whom Charles Oliver replaced. And Oliver that time with a PI to try to deny what he thought would have been a touchdown scoring catch.
Burrow running all night into the end zone, touchdown.
When we talked to the A&M defensive coaches, we asked them, who does Nick Brissett remind you of? They said, he's got a little Darius Geis. We should have asked, who does Joe Burrow remind you of? As a ball carrier, of course. Because none have been more effective than he has as a running back here tonight.
It's a career high for Burrow. Meanwhile, Donovan Wilson, standing senior from Shreveport, Louisiana, down. The alpha male of this group, especially in the secondary. 5 interceptions 3 years ago as a freshman. Had one last week against UAB, his 8th in his career.
Kind of hobbling off. Looks like it's that right knee that already had some type of a wrap on it. Maybe he got torqued trying to make the tackle, and Joe Burrow spinning his way into the end zone. And as it is, both these teams getting some solid 2-point conversion practice in for next season.
This is higher than the Tiger Aggie basketball score. This one deflected, and even though it's caught, it's short of the goal line as D. Anderson makes the catch. So the Aggies can tie it if they score a touchdown, but win it with a 2-point conversion. Kendrick Rogers has been unstoppable for Texas A&M since they went to overtime.
Quite literally. How does he make this catch? We still haven't figured that one out. Comes up with another big one along the back end line. And then, of course, another big snag. That one will carry Vincent. And number 13 has been a menace here in the back end of the fourth quarter, the final drive, and certainly in the overtime periods. Number 13 emerging as a go-to target. But they'll start this overtime with Kendrick Rogers on the sidelines.
And how about that? History made on Kyle Field tonight in College Station. The last game of the year in the SEC is the game of the year, period. Travion Williams still running hard, down near the 12 on his 35th carry.
A&M opens the overtime in 10 personnel. No tight ends, one running back, and they got the box count that they wanted. They had the numbers to cover up the defenders, and it took Grant Delpit coming up and again making an open field tackle on one of the best runners in the conference, of Travion Williams.
First and 10 for the Aggies from the LSU 12.
A&M staying same formation, this time to the opposite side of the field.
Mon takes off, but goes down. Devin White.
It looked like there was miscommunication on that one, because Travion Williams looked like he was setting up to pass protect, and Mon took off almost like it was a QB draw. I don't think he bailed on the throw that quickly. Travion Williams was stepping up, looked like he was ready to pick up a blitzer or a second level pass rusher.
It's a loss of 4. Aggies can get a first down at the LSU 2. And throwing behind Sternberger, incomplete, third down.
Last 2 plays for the Aggies offensively out of sync. After getting a big run from Travion Williams to open up this overtime, you get Mond on what looked like a QB draw, at least for what he thought was a QB draw, and then a bad ball. And of course, there's bound to be a few bad plays when you've run 106 of them.
Well, this will be a school record 107th.
Rogers in the game now, right here, the bottom of your screen.
Mon, strike to Davis, touchdown.
According to Davis, I guess he felt like he was getting overlooked. Rogers getting all the attention, so why not catch another touchdown? It was Davis with 1 second on the clock, after making 3 catches prior, to get A&M down the field, that scored the tying touchdown.
Who has the football here for Jimbo Fisher?
Well, we've seen Rogers, who's right here in the middle of the 3, and Sternberger, who's been relatively quiet, other than the big catch for a touchdown, the 1 play overtime, and Jimbo took a look at what LSU was going to do there, called timeout. Wants to talk it over with his quarterback.
Ed Ogeron livid with his defense after giving up that wide open touchdown to Courtney Davis.
He can't believe it. You know what part of it is? It's because I've been wet for 30 minutes with this Gatorade. This dry fit stuff doesn't work nearly as well as I thought it would.
It's a game that's about to be 5 hours long, running nearly 200 plays. But it can all end here if the Aggies convert.
And you've got options across the board. And keep in mind, though, that LSU, at times throughout this overtime, has done an excellent job blanketing coverage. Mon would have to buy time in the pocket. LSU only committing 3 to rush here, it looks like. And they do.
Mon, Rogers fighting for the ball, pass interference on Greedy Williams.
It was going to be another jump ball in the corner.
Wow, how about that?
Another flag. And the field judge threw his hat. He was out of flags.
Pass interference, defense number 29, half the distance to the goal, repeat the try. Following the play, unsportsmanlike conduct number 29. That penalty will be enforced half the distance to the goal also. We'll repeat the try. That's 29's first unsportsmanlike of the game.
So this ball will be snapped inside the 1 yard line after 2 penalties called on Greedy Williams.
You see Williams after the PI. He's telling the field judge about it. The field judge said that's enough. He's getting tired of this game too. These refs have been out there a long time.
I don't think I've ever seen that, where you're out of flags so you throw your hat.
It's probably the most convenient thing he could grab. And now you're right there. If you're Ed Ogeron running down once again to get his timeout, because you're right here on the goal line after the unsportsmanlike. Here he goes again. The second time he's had to take off. The second time he almost takes out the line judge.
When Dave Aranda's giving him instruction to do it.
He kind of smiles. You see Coach O just kind of looks over to the stands and smiles.
How about you take off, Dave, and you call timeout? Chris, how are these guys still going at it?
Well, the staff is making fun of Coach O, saying he's still got it and pretending that they popped a hamstring.
I'll tell you what, he broke nicely on both of those timeouts.
All the officials blowing their whistle. They're ready to see this one come to a close. And we have made history in College Station tonight. Play clock is running down inside 15 seconds. As Texas A&M will go right to the line.
3 tight ends in the game and a fullback.
And a false start.
You broke the huddle late, the play clock.
5-yard penalty. Repeat the try.
Keaton Sutherland, who was starting at right guard the last few games, starting at left guard tonight.
And this, of course, changes things. See the left guard trying to get a quick jump. Coach O loves it. He's good and loose after that timeout call.
That's just the 3rd penalty called on Texas A&M tonight.
Well, it came at a horrible time if you're an Aggie fan, because it was obvious what they were about to do. Slam it right up in there and see if they couldn't get it in for 2.
Rogers in the slot from outside the 5. Mon looking that way. Got it! It's Rogers! The Aggies win the game of the year in the Southeastern Conference.